Journalist Josh Boswell joins me now from our LA bureau to talk more about all of this. Good to see you.
Hi.
So the EU leaders have given the UK a big break here. Donald Tusk warning British lawmakers to use this time wisely. Let's listen.
Let me finish with a message to our British friends. This extension is as flexible as I expected and a little bit shorter than I expected, but it's still enough to find the best possible solution. Please do not waste this time.
So he also said Britain will have all options on Brexit available during this time. How optimistic are you that this 6 months extension will make a difference and result in some workable Brexit deal? And how viable are the cross-party talks between Theresa May and opposition leader Jeremy Corbyn, given this new timetable?
Personally, I'm not particularly optimistic. I think it's quite fitting that this deadline is on Halloween, because this is turning into a zombie Brexit. It just refuses to be laid to rest. And I think it's also interesting that it's Halloween because Theresa May's moribund deal and her moribund premiership as well are going to drag on just that little bit longer. I think that people were expecting a year's delay. President Jean-Claude Juncker was suggesting that that's what it would be before this vote of the 27 EU member states. But now we've got just a 6-month delay. It looks like there's probably not enough time for Conservative MPs who wanted to get rid of the Prime Minister and put somebody else in charge, maybe a more hardline Brexiteer. It looks like they're not going to have enough time. What with the EU elections coming up in May, you've also got local elections in the UK at the beginning of May. And they might not just be able to fit it all in. So Theresa May hanging on again until October 31st. And then the real question is, and to go to your question, what's going to happen? Are we going to find some kind of deal from this delay? There's not much incentive for a deal between the two major political parties in the UK. Theresa May has been trying to engage Labour in some cross-party talks. But Labour's leader, Jeremy Corbyn, has got very little incentive to make a deal. If he weds himself to Theresa May's Brexit, that's going to cause a split in his own party. If he goes for anything less than a referendum, second referendum on Brexit, then that's going to cause some serious discomfort in his party and could lead to him being ousted potentially. And that's a red line that I think Theresa May probably isn't going to cross, or at least that could split her party if she does cross it. And so you've got this impasse.
So really what you're saying is this extension of 6 months has made absolutely no difference at all, except they just have more time to keep going over the same ground, right? So Theresa May still has challenges when she returns to London. She spoke about her frustrations trying to get her deal approved. Let's just listen.
Over the last 3 months, I have voted 3 times to leave the European Union. If sufficient members of Parliament had voted with me in January, we would already be out of the European Union. We haven't been able to get that majority in Parliament. As you know, I have now been reaching out to find a way in which we can get an agreement that will command a majority across the House of Commons.
And, of course, the world shares her frustration, right? So how will she sell this extension to lawmakers and, of course, the public when she returns? And can she expect more cooperation from her Conservative MPs? I mean, now they're going to be stuck with her, essentially, is what you're saying, and possibly EU leaders factored that in when they gave the 6-month extension. So where do they go from here?
Well, I think this gives permission, really, sadly, to Conservative MPs and in fact, to all of Parliament to kick the can down the road another 6 months. They've not got a particular reason to come to a deal now for another 6 months. And it's this real, still, edgemanship game, this game of chicken where neither side wants to give an inch because they still think that they can win. You know, you've got the hardline Brexiteers still thinking that they can eventually force a no-deal Brexit or a more hardline Brexit. And then there's the Remainers who think that they're closer than ever before to getting a second referendum or even cancelling Brexit, a slightly less likely option. But it's interesting to look at the parliamentary statistics, who's voting for what, in terms of apportioning blame here. The Conservative MPs voted no for the no-deal Brexit. They voted no for May's compromise deal. They voted no for a second referendum. They voted no to cancel Brexit. And they voted no for a general election, whereas Labour's MPs are voting yes on most of those things. So the sticky wicket here, the people who aren't moving, seem to be the Conservative MPs. And it's them who May has been trying to get on side. And she's failed so far. There doesn't seem to be much reason, much indication that they're going to change their minds and join her, especially with this delay.
Very telling indeed. We'll be watching to see what they do in the coming days and weeks ahead. Josh Boswell, thank you so much. We appreciate your analysis.
Thank you.